Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hi, this is Carib Carter, and welcome to the 21st episode of Coffee with Carib Carter. I hope you got your coffee cup there or joining me for a sip. And today we have a tremendous episode for you because one thing, I am interviewing some guests who are back by popular demand, Colin and Becca. Some of you remember them. They are the two of the directors of Legacy of Hope Coffee in Honduras. Not only do they make great coffee, but the coffee they make and sell, which you can buy, and I urge you to, at legacyofhope.coffee, the proceeds go to help children who are orphaned or abandoned or just in desperate need of help, little tiny children in Honduras, and who are suffering from poverty that you and I simply can't begin to imagine. I can a little bit because my wife, as some of you know, you've met her on Coffee with Carib Carter, and if I can persuade her to come back, I'm going to do it one day. She was raised in that kind of poverty where her home as a child looked like a chicken coop. She slept on dirt floors when it rained. She and her little sisters and brothers slept in the mud, no blankets. The water they had was from the nearby river. So it's some of these children have a horrible life. Legacyofhope.coffee. When you buy your coffee there, and please do, as you're going to hear later in the show from Becca and Colin, you are helping a cause that is transcendent, okay? It's transcendent. And so you're going to see them in a few minutes, and you're going to, if those of you who've never met them are going to fall in love with them. Those who met them the last time we talked together are going to fall in love with them anew, okay? I guarantee it. And also this time, because a lot of you asked, Carter, please ask them to tell us more about their own life there. And this time they share that with you, including how Becca feels at 7 months pregnant with the healthcare in Honduras. I think you're going to be a little surprised. So stay tuned. Also, as you know, as we talked about last episode of Coffee with Carib Carter, we have now branched out beyond Central America, again by popular demand because you asked me to South America, all of Latin America. Now we're helping you find the homes of your dreams, okay? The good life at a great price. Today, I found a coffee plantation. I have a special deal. I'm going to suggest to you, I need 9 others to go in. If you do, well, I'm not going to give it away at this point. I'll get there in just a second. But we always start out with the day in the life, and the day in the life, it was because I lived in Honduras, and we'll be moving back again as soon as my wife gets her citizenship here, which was her life dream, and we're going to make that dream come true. Her citizenship here, and she knows it, is not what it was before the recent turmoil, which frankly is getting worse, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But I still want her to have her citizenship because it was a dream from when she was 5 years old. And you got to make people's dreams come true, including yours. Make your dreams come true, okay? We always talk about that. So my day in the life when I lived there was getting on the chicken bus and going to La Ceiba every day. La Ceiba is one of the third largest city there. And, I'm going to share with you, I love show and tell. So let me just show you a little bit about what that was like for me. Getting on the chicken bus, the chicken bus is, let me put it this way, when you see a bus in this country that is so run down, your local school district won't use it, it goes to Central America. And they usually paint them up very fancy, and that's the public transportation. And it's 25 cents, to go the half an hour ride from where I lived in El Pino at the time to La Ceiba. It's crowded, maybe 80, 90 people on, but they're always very friendly, very nice, very polite and thoughtful. And so It actually is a very pleasant ride. They call it chicken bus, but I got to be honest, I saw one chicken in the entire year I lived there. One chicken and one goat, okay? But that was it. Everything else was people who were very, very polite, very nice, and it was always a very pleasant ride, okay? Always a very pleasant ride. One thing, looking out the window, out of the bus at the scenery in Honduras is just gorgeous, okay? Folks, you're gonna learn it. When you make your move, and I want you to, you're gonna learn it. There's countries down there that are beautiful beyond words, okay? So what I would do, I would usually get into town, and I would spend the day in La Ceiba, okay? Again, a half an hour from where I live. And I would go to breakfast usually at the Baleada King, and then I'd get a baleada, okay? And some of you are looking at the baleada is like the Honduras national food. Absolutely delicious, delicious. You see the egg, the frioles, you know, the cheese there, tortilla, and I get one of those for my, usually two, for my breakfast. And one day, I know I promised you all, one day my wonderful wife Angelita is going to show you how to make frioles. I'm still begging her to do it, so say a little prayer that she will do it soon, okay? Because I want you to learn how to make your own frioles. You're going to love them. She's over there laughing now. But so I had the friole at the Baleada, rather, at Baleada King, and then go to the mall, relax. The mall, very modern. La Ceiba, even more modern than San Pedro Sula, because there are modern malls now in pretty much every one of these Central American and Latin American cities. Remember, we're expanding now into Latin America. I'm going to show you a property there later, and you're going to say, let's think about that. But, and then I after, when it was time to say, all right, let me grab some lunch, I go to the fresh fruit stand, okay? When I say fresh, I'm talking fresh off the tree, fresh off the orange tree, fresh off the banana tree, pineapples cut from the bushes. One of the amazing things to me is pineapples grow in little bushes on the ground, folks, okay? And so I'd usually have fresh fruit for lunch, okay? Because I'd eaten a lot of baleadas for breakfast. Back to the mall where I could relax, enjoy the people, enjoy the music in the mall. I'd work on my computer in the food court there. Modern stores, by the way. Don't think for 1 minute when you go to these countries that you're going to be shopping at, you know, someplace that, you know, you're buying stuff that was made out of rubber plants. So, yeah, you're buying the same kind of clothes. Matter of fact, remember, a lot of the clothes that you have here are made in some of these countries, because that's where a lot of our textile mills move to. Except you're paying a fraction of the price, okay, when you do the shopping at the mall. At home, and all this whole thing today, yes, what day in the life was eating a lot of good food, to be honest with you. On the way home then, I would stop at one of the roadside restaurants. That's a restaurant. That's a typical, very typical restaurant down there in Central America. The food is to die for. I would usually have carne, beef, frioles, rice, cheese, tortillas, the works, everything. If it came to $5, that was a lot. Okay? That was a lot. And then back on the chicken bus and head back home. A very, very pleasant day, fantastic food, and that's a nice way to live. That's a nice way to live. So you figure I had just had an entire day, and, you know, cost, including coffee, you know, but delicious espresso Americano coffee, better than Starbucks, to be honest with you. If I spent $10, $12 on food for the entire day, that was a lot, okay? And you could probably get away cheaper than that if you wanted to. But that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice life. And that's a typical day. You know, I worked there. I worked because I was, at the time, you know, I was writing a lot of copy for people who wanted to know what life is like in Central America, and sending it back to several other organizations. Obviously, your Offshore Club, Offshore.club, didn't exist at the time. It's only, those of you who have been with us from the beginning know that Offshore Club is only like 6 or 7 months old. It's doing great, by the way. We're up, thanks to you, and including you, we're up to like 70,000 members now. It's fantastic. And I know how fantastic it is, and in your eyes, because I get your emails, okay? And I love your emails, and keep writing to me. Let me know what to talk about. Let me know what you're interested in. Give me I'm getting a lot now saying, Carter, I'm thinking about moving to Nicaragua or Guatemala. Which would you recommend? Honduras, somebody says it's not safe. What's the real story? The real story is don't listen to everything you read in the media in this country and see. Remember, the media in this country, how can I put this in a way that is not too harsh? They lie. I don't know how else to say it. They lie. And remember, their motto is, if it bleeds, it leads. Okay? So a million wonderful things happen in Honduras, other Central American countries. The only thing you're going to hear about is one thing goes wrong. Let me tell you this. It's better than Chicago or Baltimore or Cleveland or Portland or Seattle, whatever. Okay? And it's getting better every day, whereas here, you read the paper, you live it, you live it, so you know the situation. Let's not belabor it, but it is a good lifestyle. As a matter of fact, it's a great lifestyle, and it gets better all the time. And you need to get in now, because remember, the population move is on. I learned this all the time from your emails, and so that because you're some of the ones making the moves, you're the pioneers now, and keep writing to me. caribcarter7@gmail.com. It's a 7 number. caribcarter7@gmail.com. And I answer everyone. I appreciate them. You give me the guidance I need to try and help me give you the guidance that you need. It's a great, talk about synergism. We got it, and it's thanks to you, and I appreciate it. So that's kind of a little slice of life, day in the life for you, which is very, very pleasant. And you might say, well, my life will be different. I work, or you probably won't work harder, and you can work remote. It's there. The internet is 5G down there, all throughout Central and Latin America now, and you may find you have pretty much the same kind of life. Only, some of you are more want to stay at your own home more. I'm just one of those people who's peripatetic, so I love going out every day. But that's your call. And in our new home now, and that brings me to the next thing. I always give you the frequently asked question. You know what the most frequently asked question I've received over the past week is, since our last get-together with Coffee with Carib Carter? I think you can guess. How is it coming with the new home that you and your wife bought, your beachfront home, La Ceiba Beach Club, right outside of La Ceiba in Honduras, that you told us about? I'm glad you asked. And you all have seen the pictures. I've shown them to you a million times, so I know you've seen them. So I have some new pictures for you now. Some new pictures as to where we are on that now. The home, by the way, I reiterate this because 2 reasons. One is I want you to come down and be my neighbor. Buy one for yourself. 2-bedroom home. 2 bedrooms, bath, kitchen, living room. Gorgeous, breathtakingly beautiful, okay? Columns out front. I'll show you a picture in just a second. And when I say beachfront, I'm not talking beach view. That's the crapola, if you'll excuse the term, you get up here, because there really is very little beachfront property left in the U.S. I'm talking on the beach. You walk out my front door, you're on the beach, and it is a beautiful beach. Or I showed you some videos a couple weeks ago. Those of you who missed it, go back past episodes of Coffee with Carib Carter, and one of them I showed you a lot of videos of the ocean rolling in. Incredible. Got my back doors, the pool, the palm trees, the orange trees, the banana trees. It's kind of like paradise, right? And you're saying, so how's it coming? Well, it's coming good. We wanted some repair work done. Here is a worker here doing some repair work there. Notice he's painting. They're probably doing a little plastering there, I guess. I want you to look at the detail on that column, okay? Talk about beautifully done. This is not those things where they put up vinyl here in the U.S. This is just beautifully done, all right? And that's a Honduran worker. They work very hard, by the way. One more picture. I just love doing this. The trellis, okay? You go out the front door, look at the beautiful column in the back, the gorgeous windows. See my palm trees out there? And the young Honduran worker painting it. There were a few of the pieces of wood that were not in the best shape they could have been, so we replaced them. And by the way, folks, that labor, very well done, expertly done, about $8 or $9 an hour. Imagine what it would have cost here. Yeah, from workers who are just delightful to be around, delightful to talk to, and take care of everything for you, top to bottom, and work from early in the morning till late at night. Just incredible work ethic, and you're just going to love it. So in answer to your question, how's it coming? It is coming beautifully. Okay, the home is coming beautifully. Remember, there's one almost just like it right next door, $35,000. I got mine for like $32,000. Yeah, you got that right. Imagine it would have cost in this country, on the beach the way it is, with the pool out back, as beautifully done as it is. Just the architectural details are perfecto, as we would say in Spanish. You'd be lucky to get it for $320,000. Okay, some areas 3 or 4 times that much. But now's the time to do it. Look, whenever you invest, get in early, because the others are going to come after you. When they come looking for their home, you want to be able to say, well, I got one I can sell you for 2 or 3 times what you sold. Remember when I told you about the homes that ECI built? Not too far from my home. They all sold out the first day, and the price went up for the next division by $10,000 a home within a week. That's the kind of price rises. So that's why I always encourage you, get in now, get in early. Whenever you invest, get in early. Don't be the latecomer, because the latecomer, they get the leavings, and they pay 10 times as much for the leavings as you did for getting the prime properties. Okay, so now's the time to buy. The population move is going on. Every developer I talk to, every realtor in Central America, now Latin America, says we have never seen demand the way it is now. And with the way things are moving in this country, you and I know it's going to keep increasing. It's going to accelerate. Let me just very quickly, we always had the Mad Max report. So I just want to very briefly mention this. In the Declaration of Independence, and this is why, let me tie it here. I said people are leaving the U.S. and they're leaving those. I get your emails, folks. I know you're looking. And those of you who aren't looking yet, please start. Your emails tell me it's time to go. It's not that you don't love America, but I always think of what Ronald Reagan said. One of his great statements when Sam Donaldson said to him, why'd you leave the Democrat Party? A lot of people don't. Reagan was a Democrat for a long time. He said, Sam, I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. Well, you're not leaving America. America left you. I'm sorry, it's true. Declaration of Independence says that you are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, at this point, you're largely left with your life, unless you happen to live in one of our urban areas now. Then not so sure. Liberty, come on. The past year and a half, you told you couldn't go to church, you couldn't go to a ball game, you couldn't go to a concert, you can't go here, you can't go there, what you wear if you go there, where you stand. That's not liberty, folks. That's not liberty. And all this was done while they had no proof that any of what they were doing to you really worked. But you know what? Politicians love to wield power, and that's what they were doing. Fauci, the guy who pulled this on you, said in an email to his friends with Hillary Clinton, the masks really don't even work, and besides, you don't need them when you go around other people. They didn't tell you that, did they? There went the second part of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, liberty. Now they're being forced to give it back, largely because Americans are taking it. So what do they say? Oh, now there's another plague. There's the Delta plague. And they all said, please. Oh, no, then if you didn't buy that, then there's a Lambda plague. It's going to be. Now it's the monkey pie. It's not going to stop. So take the liberty part of it. Remember what the governor of California said when they said, we want to be able to go to church, we want to be able to go to a ball game, we want to be able to walk out the door, we want to be able to go shopping again. And he said, this is the new normal, so live with it. What? South of the border? You don't have to live with that, okay? You don't have to live with it. Because they don't have this massive government apparatus to enforce it. Okay, I'm just telling you, okay? I'm just sharing that with you. The last part of it is the saddest part of all, the pursuit of happiness. Are you really happy with the way you've been treated the past year and a half in this country? Are you really happy with that? America, instead of what set us apart was the hope and happiness. Now I look in the eyes of my neighbors, and instead of happiness, I see despair, and I see hopelessness. The smiling faces were covered up. No more smiles for you. What? And now they're threatening us. It's coming back. You don't have to live with that. So that's your Mad Max report. We have one every week. I'm not going any further with it. I'm not going further because you already know. And I hear it every day. I hear it every day. As soon as people find out I'm the president of the Offshore Club, Offshore.club, they say to me, if I really do make that move, can I have my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness back? And I tell them, yes, you can. You will. You will have it back. Because again, look, the police apparatus, not the local police, God bless their hearts, but the federal police apparatus now, the FBI's budget, $10 billion a year, is 10 times what the entire budget of a country like Honduras is. So am I saying that the rulers in Central American countries wouldn't like to do what's been done up here? And they're already threatened more. Maybe they're politicians. How's that? But they don't have the apparatus. God bless it. We didn't used to have the apparatus here. Now we do. So that's enough. Enough of the Mad Max report. Just gives you another reason to move south, okay? To move south, make the move. Make the move. Enjoy the freedom. What it was when I was a kid, it was, I think it was Cool Cigarettes. You say, come all the way up. Come all the way up. Some of you my age, probably none of you are my age. I'm reached almost 3/4 of a century now. Can you believe it? I can't believe it myself. But those of you old enough do remember, come all the way up. Well, come all the way up. Come all the way up. It's all there. Everything I'm telling you is there, okay? I know, I've lived it. The people that have moved down there and are contacting me about it are saying, thank you so much. It's real. It's real, okay? And it's yours. It's yours for the asking, okay? And the taking. So take it. Take it. What do we say every week? Let's do this thing? Yeah. So, having said that, where am I recommending you move to? Well, most of the places I've recommended in the past are Central America, right? And, I love Honduras. I love Nicaragua. I've talked to you about places in Panama. ECI has some wonderful developments in Boquete, cozy homes, barely $100,000 for beautiful homes in the mountain region of Boquete in Panama. By the way, for those of you who, like me, are not really water people, even though I know what you're saying, well, you just told us you bought a beach home. My wife's a water person, right? If you're married, the wife's happy, you're happy. But I'm more of a mountain person. Boquete, their homes, some of the homes up there have fireplaces. It's cool. It's like the fall. Fantastic. So, I've told you about some of those homes. Homes in Grand Pacifica that ECI own, buy those. But also every week, I always tell you, look, I check out Vivian.com for you. And all of you know that. All of you are regulars, Carib Carter Cadre regulars. I love Vivian. And I recommend it, VIVIUN.com. You go there and you click on, there's a little box up in the right. I think they ought to make it bigger. Right in the country you're interested in. And then you click on the real estate, the next screen that comes up, and it starts showing you these places. So I promised you I would start sharing possible properties in in South America, because we're expanding. I want you to make the move. And find a home of your dreams. The good life at a great price. So I found a coffee plantation, okay? Coffee plant. This is a real coffee plant. This is a real coffee plantation. 17 acres, okay? 17 acres. Active, an hour from the airport. It's in a place called, I'm going to get this wrong because I don't speak Spanish very well, despite all my wife's efforts. Pereira, P-E-R-E-I-R-A. Pereira, I don't know. Rizalda, Colombia. We're talking about Colombia. Remember, Sinatra had a song, they make a lot of coffee in Brazil. Well, they also do in Colombia. And now you can have a plantation that makes the coffee, all right? 17 acres, 85% coffee production, 15% plantains. All the facilities are there. Hey, let me get the price up front, because that's what, you might be saying, Carter, I don't have several $1 million. By 85,000 to 89,000 USD. Okay, look it up. Go to vivian.com. Check this one out yourself, okay? Please do. All the processing equipment is there. Very safe area of Colombia. People, whenever you say Colombia, everybody just keeps saying to me, what about Pablo Escobar? Well, I don't think you have to worry too much about him. He's been dead since 1993, okay? And he's stayed dead. So that part, the Medellin cartel is gone. This is a very safe area of Colombia. With this, homes on the plantation. Let me show you some pictures here, and in a minute I'm gonna make a proposition to you, okay? Because I'm very impressed with this. Look at this. Look at this. That's the 17 acres. 17 acres. Coffee plantation. A huge coffee plantation. Okay? I told you all the buildings are there, homes to live in, the processing facilities. Yeah. They're there. And the workers. There's a worker. See the worker there? Yeah. There is a worker right there. Yeah. They're there. They are already there. And just to make sure you know, there's the coffee and the bags ready to ship. So it's in operation now. I'm showing you to show you it's in operation. And now I'm going to show you the scenery, because here's my thinking. Suppose you buy this 17 acres and you decide, once you own it, yeah, it's a great price now. I own 17 acres of the most beautiful land you've ever seen. It's very pretty. Outside one of the nicest towns in Colombia. The name I couldn't pronounce for you just a second ago. But go to 15 awesome, check this out, Google it. 15 awesome things to do in Pereira, Colombia. Okay, updated 2021. 15 awesome things to do in Pereira. You're saying, Carter, you better spell it again. Yeah, I will. Pereira, Colombia. Gorgeous town, and just a couple miles away. So it's again the good life at a great price. So let's say you don't even want to do it. It's a great investment. Folks, anywhere you invest down there now is going to pay, I'm going to say in 10 years, a 10-bagger for you, okay? That's incredible. You're not going to get that on the stock market, okay? You're not going to get that on the stock market. The banks are paying 0.1% interest, which doesn't even keep you up with inflation. So it's an investment. So here's what I'm proposing. Here's a thought. I'm willing to put up $10,000, my own money, okay? Because I want the property. I like coffee. And if we can make the business work, great. If we can't, pretty good investment in land. So I need nine other people. I don't need, but if you want to be in on it, Carib Carter 7@gmail.com. Say, Carter, I'm interested. Now, hopefully one of you will be a good business person, because I'm not. Okay, I am not a great business person. I'm somebody who loves what I do, and that's helping you all find the good life at a great price south of the border. But if you're interested, if you're a player, I used to be in the sports handicapping business. We referred to players. If you're a player who wants to make the big score, as we used to say on the shows, the handicapping shows, drop me a note and let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. And we may turn out we want to do this thing. It's not find 9 of us that invest at $10,000 a piece, and then we're on the road to it. And then one of us or 2 of us fly down, check it out. At the very least, we'll have a great time. We'll drink some great coffee, okay? So let's do this thing, and let's see what comes of it. And now I promised you a great interview before we close, and I'm going to go to it now with Becca and Colin down there at Legacy of Hope Coffee, okay? Folks, now this interview is a little rough, okay, because I'm way up here in the hills of West Virginia right now. My internet's not working very well. So you're going to see I'm looking in the wrong spot. I don't know how. I kept trying to find the camera on that phone. I was actually doing on my laptop. Never did find it. You're going to say, where's Carter looking? Well, just keep looking down. Well, it's because I couldn't find the right place to look. But ignore all that. Ignore any jumpiness in it if you don't mind. I don't know why. Here's something funny. I'm going to tell you something funny. I'm in the hills of West Virginia, and they are in Honduras. And the problems that you're going to see, and there are just a couple of them, they're not that bad, in this interview are caused by West Virginia and not Honduras. So it's like, what? Yeah, it's like, what are we tying two strings to cans up here now? But nonetheless, I think it's a great interview because they're great. What they're doing is great. Their hearts are great. And they're going to tell you a little bit about Legacy of Hope .coffee, where I urge you buy the coffee. A little more expensive, as I say in the interview, than Maxwell House, but Maxwell House ain't helping little kids whose lives have been torn apart. With this coffee, you are. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a wonderful thing to think about when you sip your coffee? So, and because you asked me to, they talk more about their personal life. And when Becca tells you about her pregnancy, 2 months from now, she's going to give birth. I think I heard him say to a young boy, and she has a problem pregnancy, and her care, she's going to tell you, is actually better than her sister, who's also pregnant, coincidentally, is getting in the U.S. So let's go to that interview now. Stay with it. About 10-minute interview. I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to be touched by it. You're going to be inspired by it, and hopefully, it's going to help you make your move south. So here we go, Becca and Colin. And here I am with Colin and Becca. Welcome back to Coffee with Carib Carter. How you all doing?
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, we're excited to be back.
You look great. Oh, there we go. Here we are. Folks might come out a little bit because I'm in West Virginia, they're in Honduras, and believe it or not, all the problems we're having, including my weird angle here, is because of West Virginia, not Honduras. So that ought to tell you where you ought to be living, right? So first question, and I want to get to the personal aspect this time. We didn't get a lot into it last time, but I know our folks are interested in both the foundation and all you're doing for the children and the coffee. And they're also asking me, please ask you more about your personal life there, if you don't mind. So first, how's everything with the foundation and the children?
It's going really well. We actually just had a visit from the National Director of Child Services, and she was blown away by our programs and said to my sister, who's the director of the foundation here, that she will be looking to us to help implement the standard of care for other organizations that run similarly to us, because she believes that what we're doing should be what the country's doing nationwide. So that was really exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. And for those who weren't in on our last interview, explain what Legacy of Hope does for these children, which is very unique and very touching, and is a blessing from God.
Absolutely. So what we do is family-based care. So we are a little different than an orphanage. We have children come to us through child services, and we help child services to place that child within a family or within family-based care until their case can be processed. So that sometimes is a foster family or a small home that they can live with. They call their caregiver a tia, which means aunt. And we help them through any previous traumas and things like that until they are able to either be reintegrated with family, which means return home, or until child services decides what's in their best interest, what the next step of that would be.
Fantastic. And folks, these are children who many times have just been abandoned by their parents and relatives, right, Becca, right, Colin?
Yeah, it is. It's very dependent upon cases. Sometimes they're abandoned. Sometimes it's neglect or abuse. Sometimes they just
Didn't have the resources.
They didn't have the resources. So when they don't have the resources, our foundation comes alongside them to help them get back on their feet so that they can be reintegrated with family.
It is absolutely remarkable. And folks, just to put it in perspective for you, one reason I'm so touched by this is when my wife was a little child, the poverty that she experienced is the kind of thing that Colin and Becca see, where she lived in what was like a chicken coop with all her little brothers and sisters, no furniture, no bed. They slept on the ground. When it rained, they slept in the mud. To wash or to have drinking water, they had to walk down to the river. They had nothing. That's what these children come from, right, Colin? Right, Becca?
Yeah, it like I said, it depends on each case, but lots of times that is the norm, especially once you get a little further out from the town in which we serve, and get into the mountains and things like that.
And I think a lot of times some of the cases, a lot of families just do the best that they can, but those families just don't have the resources or the opportunity to get to provide for their family. And that's when we try to come alongside them.
Fantastic. It is just, the Bible, Jesus said, as you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. And you certainly are a living testament to that. So thank you for what they're pointing out. I can help you by buying Legacy of Hope coffee. Do it, folks. Write it down and place your orders. The coffee is fantastic. It's delicious. I've given it out to Coffee with Carib Carter regulars, our cadre members, and those who've gotten it have said, this is fantastic. Where can I get more? Where can they get the coffee? And remember, folks, when you buy this coffee, this money is going to help these children.
Yep. And if you are searching for that, all you have to do is go to legacyofhope.coffee, and that's where you can find our Legacy of Hope coffee.
Legacy of Hope, and they can order it directly, right?
Yep.
And it'll be shipped. It's micro batched in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then will be shipped directly to their door.
Yeah, and it's quick, folks. When I ordered, the coffee got there amazingly fast. It's not real expensive, maybe a couple dollars more than Maxwell House, but Maxwell House ain't helping little kids anywhere. So I'd say it's well worth the investment. You are really doing it unto the least of these. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Legacyofhope.coffee, right? All right.
Yeah.
And place your order, folks. Now, by popular demand, people want you to tell us, what is life like for you all living in Honduras, and Becca, especially you being 7 months pregnant? All right. So fill us in.
Well, it is a little warm today. It is, it's such a blessing to live here. I was recently asked, actually, through our training program, how do I feel about the country? How do I feel about the culture? And I was just like, I absolutely love it. I have fallen in love with the people and the way they respond to us being here. And just in general, the different types of reaction you get to people when you're out on the street, there's always you're greeted with such kindness, mm-hmm. which is really cool. You have more to add on that?
I was actually just home in the States for 2 weeks, and I always had people ask me oh, I bet you miss home. You miss home. I bet you don't want to go back. And I'm like, well, yes, I miss home. I miss things I love about home, and I miss my family and my friends, but I enjoy living in Honduras. The culture's a lot different. TSA and being in the airport's not a good example of what American culture is, but the responses from people that you get going in the store, it just feels like people are invested to make sure you're actually having a good day. When I was in the States, there's not that I like to have conversations all the time, but they was just going on about their day, getting things done. But here it's oh, how can I help you? I'm here to serve you. That's how it translates. That's not actually what it means. It's I'm here for your service. So it's just a lot different, and I myself enjoy it a lot.
When I lived, I found that people just singularly friendly, very warm and friendly. I didn't have any bad experiences on the chicken bus, whether it be on the radio.
How safe do you feel?
I mean, I lived in New York, in Brooklyn for a semester or for a school year, and I went there, and honestly, I feel safer here than I ever did walking the streets of Brooklyn. So I like, as far as that type of safety goes, I feel very safe. As far as healthcare goes, I mean, we do have moments where I feel worried just because it is a small country and they don't have all of the resources that, you know, the United States would have. But I am a high risk pregnancy in multiple categories, and I feel very comfortable delivering here. So we will be delivering in San Pedro Sula, which is about 4 hours more or less, just because I am high risk and they have a NICU there and a cardiologist on staff. But we are very confident in their ability to care for me and to care for the baby and for us to have a healthy delivery. They're very knowledgeable. They have, you know, the same degrees that you would need to have in the States to practice in the hospital or to deliver. And
I just think even her sister's also pregnant, and even like comparison, like stories we hear from her, like her inability to get connected with a doctor is like.
So like, if I ever feel like I want to go get checked, I can just go in that day. I'll just say, you know, I feel this way. Would it be okay if I come in? And they say, absolutely, you come in right now. She's also high risk.
She's also in the States.
And she lives in the United States and does not have the same access to immediate care should she feel that something's wrong. They say to her, like, yeah, well, let's see you in a week, or go to the emergency room. That's your only option. Where here, they're like, let me help you. We will get you to this doctor, this doctor. You know, they have all of this equipment. And for that reason, I almost feel safer here with my my doctors that are helping us with this pregnancy.
And that's fantastic. You know, that's the same. Obviously, I did not have experience with pregnancy when I was there, but you know, I had the occasional need to go to the doctor, and I felt exactly the same way. You know, the image in the U.S. was that they use X-Acto knife and duct tape down there, and I said, no, it is very modern medical condition, and it was, and the treatment I got was wonderful. So I'm thrilled with that. I am thrilled with that. You know, it's just fantastic, and it is 2 months till delivery.
Yeah, I'm due like mid-October, but the baby the last few times has been measuring 2 weeks ahead, just because I think he's large, and genetics would have him to be that way.
So, well, you know, Colin's a pretty big fellow, so I can imagine if he follows suit.
So.
Well, it's just, you know, again, thank you for coming on. So what? Let's close with this. What would you say to anybody who's considering making the move down there, considering making the move, and adapting and adopting to the lifestyle there? What would you say?
I mean, I think when I was moving down, I had a big worry that my life was going to completely change. And in some aspects it has, but in a lot of ways it hasn't. Like, I still have all the availability to a lot of the foods I would want. I can cook the meals I'd want. The community here is great. You can build yourself up around a community. And like we've been saying, the people are just great. And like, as soon as you have found that community, wherever you would possibly move into, they surround you and make sure that you have everything you'd ever need.
Yeah, and I would say, like, lots of times people just have a misconstrued idea of what it is like to live in Honduras, or what the houses are like and things like that. And then once you get here, they're like, oh wow, like, this is Honduras. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I love to take them to the grocery store and things like that. And they're like, this is like a grocery store. And just like, yeah, this is where we shop every day. And it just blows their mind. They have one idea of how we're living, and then they get here and they're like, oh, that's how you're living.
It's a pretty good life. That's right. At the Offshore Club, we always say, move down to Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and learn to live. You will live the good life at a great price. And I think you all are living proof of that. So thank you.
We're glad to represent how we're living down here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I told you you're going to love that interview. Aren't they wonderful people? Aren't they wonderful people? Just God bless them. God bless them and everything they do and everything they are. And I know you join me in saying that. And there's something else I also want you to join me in, okay? And that's taking control of your own life, all right? I'm going to make I referenced earlier, 6 weeks, I'm going to be 75 years old. And I posted this sentiment on Facebook. I hope you follow Carib Carter on Facebook, because I'm trying to post at least 3 times a day. I hope to get up to 5 to 10. Just some thoughts, some opportunities for you, some thoughts about your life and taking control of it, seizing the moment. And I say on one of my posts recently, when you look back from perspective of 75 years, you say to yourself, I've done some things I wish I hadn't done, but even more so, regrets are things that I could have done and didn't do, and I never want you to have that, okay? I'm asking you not to have that, okay? One day, God willing, I pray to God for you, you're going to be 75, all right? and I want you to be able to look back and say, you know what? I'm glad Carib Carter told me don't miss out on the opportunities, because I don't have a lot of regrets from omissions. Okay, we're going to have some with commissions, but not from omissions. And what a joy that is. Thank God I don't have too many, because pretty much like Sinatra said, did it my way. Thank God, right or wrong. But I want you to really, really seize your own life, control your own life, take your own life, and I mean that in a good way, not kind of the head. And to help you do that, I'm urging you, I'm not going to put a link in right now, I'm just going to urge you to go Google Get Some with David Goggins and Jocko Willink. Okay, just Google it. I practice, I know it'll go right to the right video. It's 30 minutes, but it's going to change your life. Get Some. David Goggins, Goggins, some of you know him, toughest guy in the world. Jocko Willink, maybe the toughest SEAL trainer, whatever, ever. But good guys too, who care and want you to, get some. Get everything there is out there for you. On Judgment Day, or when you cross the Great Divide and arrive at the pearly gates, I want you to look back down and say, I had a heck of a time of it, okay? So check that video out, take it to heart, and as we always say on Coffee with Carib Carter, let's do this thing.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit www.offshore.club today. www.offshore.club. That's www.offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.